Three friends, one amazing series of YA novels, an insatiable thirst to relive the glory that is K.A. Applegate's literary masterpiece. This is Fanimail, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
Hello and welcome to the Dork-Bajir Chronicles, a podcast where we read and watch through the Animorphs series in all mediums. Then we talk about it every week. Today we'll be talking about the Animorphs TV series again. I apologize in advance. We'll be watching episode 18? Yeah, 18, the release.
Yes.
My name is Mikhail, the host.
I'm Tessa, the expert.
And I'm Braden, the alarm clock.
Yeah, hell yeah. Did we introduce Jared yet? Do we have to introduce Jared?
Y'all should remember him.
You know, if there's Animorphs TV series, I am here to be watching.
Unfortunately, and I'm sorry.
His contract, he's on a contract for 4 more years.
Braden still technically owns my soul.
Wow, okay.
You get to own somebody's soul when you have sex with all their parents.
With all their parents? I like that.
Yes, Mikhail, I have 9 parents.
Yeah. Before we get into this, what I'm sure is a cinematic masterpiece, let's do some fan mail.
Fanimail! Ooh, yeah! Fanimail! Ooh, yeah!
First piece of fan mail comes from Anne-Marie at Wizard of Flame on Twitter, who links us to another tweet by Liam O'Brien, and she says, "This is the Chi Underground Park." Oh no, the Chi Underground Park be like, : Gotta get that vernacular right.
Go, dog, go. My little brother rented the audiobook from the library and listened to it on repeat for 2 weeks straight. This is where the very good interaction of like, hello, I like your hat. I do not like your hat. Goodbye, goodbye. Sorry, it's, do you like my hat? I do not like your hat. And this person is trying to impress the other person with their hat, so they keep coming back with more and more ridiculous hats.
What does this have to do with a dog?
The two people are 2 dogs. They're dog people. The book is all dogs.
It's a bunch of dogs.
Come on.
Jesus.
Go, dog, go.
Keep up, Jared. Come on. Oh, thank you for that, Anne-Marie. Next piece of fan mail comes from @theslan on Twitter as well, and who says, "This question popped up on a practice test for a state certification, #Animorphs, ANA, and #Yarks." But it's a question, it's clearly a picture of a computer screen that has this question on it. A teacher asks students to identify the following genre, : characters have special powers, animals act like people, in brackets, Animorphs with an A, and then a few other things. Okay, there's a lot to break down here. Well, I don't get too far into it. An Animorph is actually a real thing, I think. But it has nothing to do with animals acting like humans. The other thing is the actual correct answer, which is Animorphs.
I was wondering that too.
It's also not about animals acting like people.
In a very, generous understanding of the question, and the animals act like people. No, the animals act like people because they are people.
No. We are not generous people, Tessa.
Oh.
Jared, why don't you bless us with your expert summarizing skills? Oh, but first, this episode, called The Release, was directed by Robert K. Sprogis, which is a great name. It was written by Mark Scott Zachary and Carl Ellsworth, and it was released February 2nd, 1999.
Well, we start off in back in the high school. The one teacher who I believe is their science teacher.
It's never quite explained.
It's not quite explained, but I'm pretty sure I saw a Bunsen burner.
Yeah,
so that's science. It's, is for some reason talking about camping, but not actually talking about camping, because camping is a fancy word, Jake.
Camping is a fancy boy word.
He's like, what happens when everything you have is destroyed and you need to live in the wilderness, kids? What happens? He pulls out this giant fucking jar of crickets after Marco and Jake are being smartasses, as smart as they can possibly be in this show.
Yeah.
But he pulls out a giant jar
ridiculously huge
of fucking crickets and dirt, and he's like, you can eat these crickets. And everybody freaks the fuck out, including one bitch dude with the weakest stomach I've ever seen, runs out of the room. Like, it's a cricket, man.
Is this a good time for my tangent on crickets and the meat economy of North America?
There's not a lot of other cricket-related stuff that happens in this episode, so you might have to take what you can get, Mikhail.
Okay, so I realize I'm talking to a butcher, so this is going to be...
If it touches a nerve, I'll just flip my computer and run. Exactly.
That's his fight or flight. It's just all flight with Jared.
Flight all the time.
So, okay, I don't think we should be eating cat. And here's why. It makes no sense. Economically, it's really bad. Also, it's terrible for the environment. Also, what you get out of it is so much less than what you put into it.
Crickets are, like, extremely high in protein, and the amount of effort that it takes to raise a bunch of crickets versus, like, the amount of effort it takes to raise a bunch of cows, the difference is ridiculous.
Yeah. A lot less, literally in the billions, gallons less water.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it might not be the same as steak, but, like, science is, like, 6 months away from making a good cricket steak, so.
Cricket ribeyes are not good.
In our city, they sell cricket meal, which you can mix with regular meat or with whatever you want, and it, like, ups the protein by, like, 500% or something crazy. So, anyways, next time you're at the farmer's market, don't be grossed out at the guy who's selling cricket and cricket meal and cricket ground meat and stuff. Anyways, I ate a biscotti made out of cricket flour, and you know what? It tasted exactly...
Well, I mean, you picked the worst cookie to compare. Biscotti are kind of terrible unless they're being actively dipped in espresso.
Wow. You're really asking for the biscotti, like, lobby to come after you.
The biscotti lobby.
Babe, you're going to upset the biscotti sponsors.
Yeah, led by Vincenzo Biscotti.
Okay, this one last thing. This is only tangentially related, but people will sometimes get a cockroach allergy if they're working, I think exterminators, if they're working in too close a distance with cockroaches. And it's one of those allergies where the more interaction you have, the worse off you get. Like, the more severe the allergy gets. And these same people, unfortunately, develop allergies to instant coffee at the exact same time.
Why?
Well, instant coffee's gross. So.
Is it because it tastes like it's made out of cockroaches? Oh, you're telling a joke.
No, this is like a fact.
Oh, okay.
But it's like a horrifying fact where you realize that instant coffee is made out of cockroach meat.
Yeah, no, I thought you were just telling a joke about how instant coffee is shit. Okay.
I mean, yeah, that sounds like me.
Anyways, we've probably lingered on this for way too long.
Rachel, like, totally kills the mood with pretending that for the kids, for any reason, would have morphed a cricket in a jar of crickets in a science teacher's desk.
The only reason, first of all, that is an actual underage actress you're talking about, but also that
not anymore.
Yeah.
She was 16.
Still.
Well, I didn't
16.
know that until you said it.
Yeah, she's like 30 now? That's fine.
When she was acting.
Well, she never says her age out loud in the show, so it doesn't count.
I think she does. But also, that cricket stuff is, like, definitely to feed a class lizard of some kind, right? So why would anyone morphed be in there? Anyways.
Right? I mean, but to be fair, the kids were their own human-ass selves and were shouting their actual names while running around enemy territory. So I wouldn't put it past them to be like, I think the science teacher's a yerk. Let's eavesdrop. I'm gonna morph a cricket and be in his jar of crickets.
And she was so exceptionally shitty about it that it really bugged me. She turns and gives him, like, this fucking death glare, like he just curb stomped a fucking golden retriever. But she's like, that could have been us. I'm like, if you morph a cricket here, you kind of deserve to die.
Like, read the room, Rachel.
For
Come
real.
on.
Like,
don't just morph willy-nilly.
You're not gonna be like, we gotta break into the tiger exhibit, guys. We better transform into a fucking chicken.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, the takeaway is Perkins is a fucking badass.
Perkins could kill a tiger.
Especially
he almost does, but we'll get to that later.
10 seconds later, he, like, comes out with the meth sweats, and you know.
You're not tweaking,
That's
dude.
sweat.
You're just peeking. It's all good. A few minutes later, we see Perkins, like, stumbling down the hallway, sweating, just looking like he needs a fix real hard. And it's like, he's like shoving fucking kids out of the way. And then you hear in the background, if you listen, some kids are just like, well, that was really weird. And then they keep going.
And they're like, that was so rude. I couldn't believe it. And it's so long. Like, normally background chatter just fades out, but these kids kept going.
So what are you doing this weekend? You want to hang out? Or like... Perkins stumbles into his office. He, like, grabs the phone and calls who I'm assuming is one of his Yerk pals. And just says some nonsense that really does not make any sense. He's just like, I'll be in class tomorrow. You won't see me.
I actually thought he was talking to his boss and just being like, I need a sub.
I don't know.
No,
Was
because he said his Yerk name. He said his Yerk name, so I think he was talking to Chapman the Yerk, not the assistant principal.
Yeah, it didn't make sense.
I don't understand the point of this scene at all, other than to alert Chapman that he's dying of Kandrona starvation, I guess.
Yeah, like, he's, like, very clearly not well, but you could have done that just by, A, showing him stumbling down the hallway, like, all sweaty and gross, and then when he gets into the office, just have him, like, knock a bunch of shit over like he does immediately after he hangs up the phone.
And then there's a really good shot of, like, clearly the director was like, I should have been directing Frankenstein, because the lights turn off for no reason. Like, he knocks the phone over and the lights turn off. Excuse me? And then there's a close-up shot of just his hand rising into the air, closing into a shaking fist. Oh my god. That's good shit. That's fucking cinematic.
This scene was really written just so that the audience knew that he was a controller. And it's like, how... Because, spoiler alert, his Yerk dies, and that's what it looks like. Why did the Yerk not actually say the truth? The Yerk knows it's dying. Is the Yerk suddenly on the human side and wants to sacrifice itself so that the human can be free?
No, I think the point is that Perkins' Yerk knew that the healthy Yerks were killing the hosts and letting the Yerks die. Because they can't save the Yerks, otherwise they would, right? But then they're...
so he was just like...
This is self-preservation.
But he's still gonna die.
See, I don't understand why he had to call Chapman at all, because if he knew that, well, I guess, well, whatever, let's just keep watching.
Because this scene makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's only in there so that the audience knows at the top of the episode that Perkins is a Yerk.
I mean, plus, Yerk and Perkins, man. You should have known that anyway.
Yerk and Perkins?
It
rhymes.
It rhymes, guys. Come on. We then get the intro, which still not a fan of the newest intro without the actual music. Mostly because it keeps showing Jake drumming on the fucking window.
No.
And every time I see it, I'm just like, you're so
my
stupid.
God. I thought I drank that away. Thank you for bringing it back.
He's just, you know how you are when you're 12 and you drum your whole bedroom.
It's just spinning around to no music, might I add.
To no beats either.
No.
Like, he's clearly not imagining a song.
We have the intro. We cut back to what was the name of this internet cafe?
Oh God.
It was like a Russian something.
I don't remember.
Oh,
You're
what the
asking
fuck
wrong
was
guy.
it? Oh, Siberia.
Oh yeah.
But it was like they cut to Siberia. The kids are all hanging out. And for some reason now Rachel's in like a real jokey mood because Marco's having a legit moment where he's like, man, I didn't do anything because I was worried he was a controller. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And she's like, I don't know, maybe you're a little bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
for no reason, she rips into him.
Like,
I think Rachel in the TV show is just racist.
Ooh, it's a good fan theory.
I think
it
she'll
checks
just
out.
do anything to mess with the brown kid.
But her best friend is Cassie, and they jumped over that super really big ledge in that one episode.
that
Oh
was
my
a foot and a half, man.
Yeah,
did
they
it
all
together.
have one friend that proves they aren't
Oh my
racist,
God.
Mikhail.
My best friend is not white. Anyways.
What do you call that? Cassie, what do you call what you are?
Oh my God.
They're in Siberia. They're hanging out. Rachel gets super shitty because that's just who she is this episode. But then you see this random woman stumble into Siberia and, like, kind of looking around like she has no fucking clue where she is. And I just go, free! My yerk is gone! Free yourselves!
It sounds like a bad impression. It's not. That's just what she sounded like, guys.
It's pretty fucking spot on.
It's bad. Like, you were just held captive by the Yerks. You know all of the Yerks.
For God knows how long, too. Like,
have some self-preservation, lady.
A lot of extras and, like, some of the secondary leads in sci-fi shows can be really bad because they don't take it seriously, because they didn't vet them enough. They just got somebody, like somebody's cousin, or like somebody, the first person out of a line at like an audition, or like somebody who auditioned for Cassie but didn't get it. It's just like, because they read, the alien in my brain escaped through my ear, and they don't know how to take that. There's so many actors out there who don't know how to take sci-fi and fantasy seriously, and they end up as extras on sci-fi and fantasy, and they are terrible at it.
Okay, sorry. I 100% agree with you, but I just want to be that guy and say that this scene reminded me of that one Vine where the guy's like,
oh my God,
screaming in the streets with a rubber chicken and a giant beard and a cardboard, and he's wearing no clothes except for underwear. And he's just slapping this sign that says love, and it just says, love yourself, respect yourself.
Yeah, it's the same kind of vibe. It's like the inverse of that Vine that's what the scene is.
So there's the lady walking through yelling that she's free of the Yerks, and for some reason, they decide not to act on it fucking immediately.
No, they just want to watch it
like,
for a hot second.
If somebody comes in and they're like, yo, I'm free, the Yerk is out, you're gonna go up and she's like, yo, fucking come with me.
Like, chill.
Like, we got some shit to do. But they're like, oh, should we do something? Yes, you fucking should. But they wait, and then they see another dude walk in, he's kind of scoping around oh no, I think the controllers found her. And then they come up with a fucking plan.
Yeah, it's
like,
too late.
So she's wandering around, and the other controller is joined by another guy, and they grab her and they say like the creepiest shit no, she's a friend of ours. She'll be fine. Come with me, friend.
It's so creepy. Oh God.
And I'm like, oh man, she's gonna get yerked or something worse.
She's gonna get killed because there's not enough Yerks to go around no more.
It's real rough.
Yeah. And then, like, Jake is like, okay, well, you clearly have the upper hand here. I'll turn around. And then Marco shows up with, I think, a pie, and then gets pie on Jake's shirt, and Jake's like, frick.
What a great day this is. First the interstellar war that I'm a part of goes south, and then this? Oh, no.
No, I got pie on my favorite Gamer Boy shirt. Join our Patreon for exclusive access to Braden Grunts any time of day you like.
I want a Braden Grunt soundboard.
Have an affirming, customized Braden Grunt.
That's top tier shit right there.
This is a sidebar. I mean, this whole episode is a sidebar from real life anyways, but one of the comments on this YouTube upload of this is from TD Thomp 1 a year ago, who says, I wish it could be like a special Animorph. All I have to do is think. I don't have to touch, just think about my animal. And bam, I turn into my animal. Also, I can morph into people with their DNA, such as hair, spit, skin, and sweat. Then, final sentence, I'm making a show called Biomorphers.
Jesus.
Sorry to put you on blast, TD Thomp 1, but I thought that was very fucking funny.
He gives himself away as a sex pest, specifying that I don't have to. I wish I could anamorph, but not have to touch the animals, but still need DNA for human transformation.
Their sweat.
Their spit.
This dude wants to drink gamer girl pee, unironically.
There's a good market for it, so don't knock it, Brandon, until you try it. Anyways, you can pick up my gamer piss at Mikhail's Golden Showers
.ca
.co.uk. I had to put it in another country.
Fair enough. Safety.
Mikhail's honkin' big jugs.
Oh, that's not bad. Mikhail's yellow gold. No, that's not good.
That one's bad. Because gold is already kind of yellow. Liquid gold.
There it is.
It's whatever you want to sell it as, but you couldn't get the same actual website URL. So it's just Mikhail likes to pee on you lots.com.
Ooh, how about you're in for it.com?
You're in for a treat.
Okay, this bit has definitely peaked. Let's move on.
The controllers take away the other freed controller. Man, I can say controllers a lot in this fucking episode.
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh, nerds, we didn't get there fast enough." We then cut to the mothership. Visser. Wait, what was it?
Visser 1 is the lady.
Yeah,
and
Visser
she's
1.
giving Visser 3 total shit.
I love this part.
It.
I love this
The
part.
fucking just so testically smashing commentary on who he is as both a military person and just a person.
Just personally, it's so great.
She's like, "Do you know why I put you in charge of Earth?" He's like, obviously because of my years of military experience, my huge wang, and the fact that I can fit into any person's shoes no matter the size. She's like, "No, any fuckhead could have finished this by now. Why are you here?"
I love it. That's a literal exact quote.
He's got he picks up this paint can with
It's not.
some.
It's a literal Coke can that they spray painted gray and put
And
string.
put a little wire around it.
I don't know what it was.
and
he's holding it so far away from him that it doesn't this scene was supposed to be him keeping it beside him and slowly taking out his frustration on this can, but it shows him crack it ever so slightly once, and then he's holding it a foot away from him. It's bringing all the attention to it. Look at me crushing this can a little bit. You shouldn't see this, but I'm doing it.
And he keeps closing his eyes like he's concentrating on something else. If it's off, oh my god, I just saw the shot. It's a full body shot. She saw everything he was doing with that can.
Yeah, no, it was an intimidation
he walks
tactic.
out and picks it up.
He is not subtle about it at all. That's just so your boss is giving you shit, telling you any idiot could have done your job, and you walk over and just throttle this can of Pepsi real quick.
Reminds me of
because you're mad.
Kids in the Hall, I'm crushing your head. That guy.
I'm crushing your
Crushing
head.
your head. I'm crushing your head. I'm crushing your... You know what it reminded me of? Horny Chicken Lady. Another classic Kids in the Hall
don't
bit.
know that one.
I thought you were talking about the lady from Siberia.
This is now a Kids in the Hall podcast.
Can it be? I haven't seen a ton of Kids in the Hall, but I would gladly do a Kids in the Hall podcast.
It, like most sketch comedy, does not hold up well.
Bummer.
Anyways, okay, they go to the barn.
Yeah, they go to the barn, and essentially they're... Wait, what are they talking about?
They're planning about oh man, this is great. It's basically the plot of The Alien Book 8. When one person comes out talking about Yerks, they're just gonna think they're crazy. But 10 people come out, the government can't shut that down, and Axe is sitting there knowing that the Yerks are just gonna kill the humans as soon as the Yerks are out of the human head.
Right. Or just like that one episode where they throw a party for Scott in the middle of a sketch for playing his 100th gay waiter.
Jesus.
I'm still on
Yeah.
Kids in the Hall.
We know.
God.
So, Axe is the only one... I do feel Axe is both vastly overused and vastly underused in this show.
He's overused for the dumb funny bits, and he's underused at actually being a competent team member. Also, Marco says some things to him in this scene, which just they're supposed to be jokes, and honestly, because of Axe's reaction, they just feel like bullying.
Yeah.
This whole Axe fish out of water thing is getting just boring as fuck for me. That doesn't need to be his hit every goddamn day.
Don't read the books, Jared, because you're in for a lot of that.
It's bad. It should have been, at least in the TV show, if you can play it in the books and kind of just have it a little more spaced out. But if you have it more spaced out in a much more finite amount of time, it's too much.
Yeah.
Because it's we've had 3 episodes that were solely Axe doesn't know what is up with Earth. And he's like, let me shove this fucking ice cream cone up my foot. And everyone will be cool with it.
I'm so angry at that. Do not bring that up.
Yeah, so they essentially are like, Axe is like, sorry, dude, that ain't gonna work. We then cut back to the house. Jake also puts together that Tom has been sick for a few days. And he's like, oh, cool, his Yerk's about to die. It should be out by, like, tomorrow afternoon. And then he goes home, and we see Tom, and this fucker has the goddamn plague.
He looks real rough, y'all.
Like,
he's got the meat sweats from hell.
Like...
No, he's got the light sweats from hell. Because he eats rays, not meat.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's
Ebola,
a good one.
whooping cough, and the mumps, like, all at once.
Okay, since we're here, I want to talk about maybe my favorite part of this entire series, maybe. At exactly 9 minutes and 34 seconds into this YouTube upload, we pan over to Tom's fucking clock, like on his nightstand. First of all, it's 11:30, which is like AM, PM, neither one makes sense. And then he has two pictures on his nightstand, both black and white. One of them appears to be maybe not exactly Marilyn Monroe, but something like that. Not in a frame, just leaning against the wall. And the other one is a black and white picture of what looks to be a baby, which, or like maybe like a 1-year-old or something. But it's like, what the fuck? Who did the props for this? The guy with the pop can? Who let him do all this stuff?
It's just like the director's broke kid. Needed some, like,
you know what this
money.
picture looks like behind him? Or like behind the clock? It looks like, do you remember in Batman and Robin, the George Clooney one?
Mm-hmm.
When Batgirl is trying to like figure out Alfred's password because she can't crack the password of like a fucking 80-year-old man?
Yeah.
And she like looks over and like it says like love you Peg on it. And he's like, Peg! Because apparently his password was 3 fucking letters.
How's that
but
allowed?
It looks exactly like that picture. So fucking Tom is like on the verge of death, and his mom's like, "Oh, it's okay. I brought you soup. You'll be fine." And he's like, "Oh, cool, thanks." And Marco and Jake go into Jake's room, and they're like, "All right, we can definitely get Tom away, and like just wait for that Yerk to die, and Tom will be back to normal." But of course, his mom's like, "Tom, what the fuck are you doing, shithead? You can't like be wandering around. You'll murder the whole town." And he's like, "No, I'm fine. I have to go to the sharing, and my friend's already outside to pick me up." Like, holy shit, man.
It's like, you're not doing... Come on, Yerks. You're really making the sharing look like a cult here.
Yeah. You didn't see my friends pull up?
He's wearing his classic, like, Manchester rugby uniform. Like, why is he wearing that fucking ugly polo all the time? Jesus.
I don't know.
Anyways.
That's what they wore. That's what they
Yeah,
wore.
it was the 90s.
You can't judge it. It was a product of its time.
I can still judge it, though, can't I?
Okay, we can't stumble too much because possibly the greatest thing happens right after that, where they chase the car that Tom gets into.
Yes.
And just Jake is screaming, "I know about Yerks!"
I'm the Andalite, remember? It's me! Where you going?
You can
Come
hear
back!
through windows. Like, what are you doing?
And then the worst part is that the van slows down for no reason, and then it just speeds back up. And like, brake! And then speeds back up. So, you know, you have like a half a second where you think that they're going to get caught, and then it was for nothing.
Then Marco standing like, "Boy, that was close, wasn't it, Jake? Jake?"
Boy, that was close. Wasn't it, Jake?
What voice is that, Brayden?
It's the too many muscles in your neck voice.
Yeah, Marco looks like he's 10 years into his pro wrestling career.
He's a personal trainer now, that actor.
I know, but he looks like he was already doing that at the time. Like, he looks like a grown-ass man.
I mean, he probably was like 19 or 20 when this was filmed. Also, does that mean that Jake morphed a dog when the van could have clearly seen it happen in the rearview mirror?
Absolutely, it does.
And then just literally anybody looking out their door in their house.
God.
You know your old lady who waters her plants somehow all day? She knows you morphed into a dog.
That's critical, because she was the wizard sent to protect you.
Spoilers, Mikhail, spoilers. You ruined the finale.
Right. Then we get to the weird cabin scene.
Jake hauls ass, morphed as Homer, follows the van into the way backwoods middle of nowhere. Tom gets out, is handed off to another controller, and then they're kind of wandering through the forest. Tom is getting, like, worse by the fucking second.
Yeah, he's, like, crawling on the ground in pain. And he's like, where are we going? This is not the protocol.
He's like, it's not supposed to be this far away. What the fuck? And he's like, things have changed. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna walk ahead and leave you. And all of a sudden, Tom gets fucking snatched. We then cut to Tom is being tied up by Perkins in this horrifying shack. And there are so many shacks in whatever this town is, woods. Because this is like the third one we've seen.
It's called Shackville.
It's terrifying. Like, there's the crazy old lady with the yerks in a jar.
Yep, there's the random shack is that the same random shack that Rachel stumbles into, and then there's plans? I think that was a
I'm pretty sure that was a separate shack. But then there's
this one.
And there's a weird yurt camp in the middle of the fucking place.
There's the shack where they starved out Jake as well, remember?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that one too.
This town has just got too many shacks in it. Also, what the hell kind of plan was this, Perkins? Like, how did you know that there was going to be, like, are you working with this yerk or what? Because that's very suspicious and way to leave a body trail.
I think that guy was, like, part of the movement.
Was he?
Well, why else would he just, like, dump him with Perkins? Perkins is, like, a known entity, isn't he?
He is. This is just a bad plan.
We're also focusing on the wrong part.
The
part we should be focusing on is the fact that he tries to give chicken soup to Tom, and Tom is like, filthy, disgusting human.
Human chicken soup.
Like, why?
Then, just based off of this tiny moment, that's when Jake knows Perkins is no longer
good.
a controller.
Because he literally, like, Marco shows up and he's like, oh, we were gonna, like, we're in this together. And he's like, oh, great, yeah, we're not doing anything, but that's cool. Like, so they go back to the barn, and Jake's like, you won't believe what happened. Perkins gave him soup. Perkins gave him soup.
I'm wondering now, though, if it was because we saw Tom's mom give soup a couple just earlier. And that was obviously a good thing, so that's why giving soup to someone is the only way to prove you're not a yerk.
No, it's the only way to prove that you're a good guy.
A good dude.
Like, you remember in Terminator 2 when the Terminator came back and he was supposed to save John Connor, and that time he made him soup? That's how you know he was a good Terminator, not a bad Terminator.
Perkins is a Terminator?
God, I wish.
What if it was like chicken noodle soup, but the noodles were shaped like yerks?
Just really thick, fat noodles.
Very short.
Yeah. It's yerk noodle soup. Where do you think mine yerk went, Tom? And just shake the fucking pan at him.
Meanwhile, the lady in the woods with the fucking yerk and the formaldehyde is like, you're doing it wrong!
You need to suck it out of your ear with a vacuum cleaner.
Fuck.
That's basically right.
Oh yeah, so they're back at the bar and he's like, oh yeah, Perkins is on our side. And again, fucking Axe being the, like, rational one here is like, okay, yeah, but they're gonna find him and they're gonna fucking yerk him again. They know exactly where this dude lives. He's like, well, he can bullshit it. And he's like, for how fucking long? And they're like, well, whatever. Cross that bridge when we come to it, you know?
They're gonna kill your brother. This whole thing is about saving your brother. Tom is going to be dead. I'm so mad.
You know,
this is a bad episode.
I think he could live with that.
Really? Because, like, the whole fucking series has been like, we gotta get Tom back. What about, and kill the rest of the yerks, right? Yeah, after we save Tom. Oh, yeah. So they they go back and they kind of tell Perkins in so many words. They're like, oh, we get you, dog. It's cool. We're on the side against the yerks, too. Without saying any of that, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But then they bounce, and then Tom comes in with a fucking bee in his bonnet, and he's like, "Aw, bitch! Like we know what you did, Perkins. Perkins.
Do you want to know where this finger is gonna fit, Perkins? 'Cause I'm gonna get 2 of them in there.
I'm gonna yerk you up the other ear."
Isn't there also a part where Jake is like, yeah, I think I think Tom's Yerk is probably dead. And then he sees Tom in the hallway, and Tom pushes this guy out of the way, and Jake's like, damn, he's still a controller. It's like,
I know. It's
What
like,
if your brother's just a cunt?
yeah,
And what
exactly.
if he had thrown soup on the kid? Jake would have gotten so confused.
Shoves his ass down and then drops a can of Campbell's at his feet. He's like, I don't know what's wrong. What's happening anymore?
You could pour soup in my lap, and I'd probably think you were a controller.
So a bunch of controllers swarm. I almost said Yerkins.
No, he's D. Yerkins.
God.
Couple
Damn
of the
it.
controllers swarm Perkins, and they're gonna haul him off and just be like, we're gonna fucking yerk you right in the ear, bitch. Then all of a sudden Jake decides that he's gonna fucking morph full fucking snow tiger up in this bitch.
That's right after they have like the most cartoon ass shot of Marco and Jake peering over this ledge, and then when the camera pans to them, they like slowly lower their heads underneath the ledge.
Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good.
It's so good.
So he scares away the controllers as the tiger, and Perkins, rightfully so, like this I'm actually happy with, because he rightfully so was like, oh, fuck, I'm out of here. So there's a goddamn tiger there. And then there's this really weird exchange between, sorry, what was the principal again? Chapman. Yeah, there's a weird thing between the Chapman and Jake, like, it's a weird back and forth there. He's like, I know who you are, Andalite. I will kill you. And he's just like, I'm a fucking tiger, dude. I'll rip your goddamn throat out. And I don't know why he doesn't.
And then the scene where the tiger jumps up on the counter, and fucking Chapman, it is something out of a silent film, where he like throws his hands up in front of his face and he's like, ah! And falls over backwards.
Oh no!
And then it cuts immediately to Visser 3 berating Chapman.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
That's comedy gold.
And we then cut to back into the forest, because apparently this entire goddamn town is forests. And Perkins kind of pops out of nowhere, and he's like, I'm living on the lam from now on. I'll find you if I need you. And then he fades off into the shadows.
Shit in these woods.
They're mine. Like,
And then I eat that shit.
he's just like every other old forest guy that you meet in high school. And I really like that they put that cultural moment in there.
How many fucking old forest guys do you meet in high school?
It happens in a small town.
I knew at least one, and his name was Speed Bump Doug, because he got hit by a car once.
Pretty good. That's a pretty good nickname.
I know, right?
Fucking name.
Speed bump Doug. Fuck.
Doug.
That sounds like something not given to you in like an affectionate way, in like a holy fuck you're an idiot, Doug, like kind of way.
It sounds like his head was run over. I don't know why I'm picturing that.
I have no idea.
Speed
Chances
bump.
are it was.
Ugh.
Let's just say Speed Bump Doug was one of those.
Half heads.
Yeah.
Ugh. Hate him. Also, like all this shit with like Jake exchanging information basically with Perkins. If they ever take Perkins again, Jake is completely fucked.
Like, the Yerks have tracking technology. Like, I mean, yeah, they don't know how to put up cameras to watch their highly important technological stuff, but they can probably just lose the Dork-Bajir and find a man living on his own in the woods.
They do know how to make hot pipes feel cold.
They do know how to make hot pipes be cold.
And they also know
cold,
how
it's
to
hot.
use. They also know how to use like a light motion sensor to detect kids turning into animals.
And they got those flashlights.
They got
They can
flashlights,
see in the
guys.
dark. They can see in the
They
dark,
got
Jake.
flashlights with scopes on them, so you're fucked.
I actually thought for a long time they were gonna, like for most of this episode, I actually thought they were gonna do a switcheroo where the whole thing was a plan to lure the Andalites out, and like Perkins was a totally healthy controller pretending to be like a defector to draw out the Andalites. Not a defector, I guess, but like an ex-host.
Double agent kind of thing.
Yeah, basically.
Triple agent, I guess.
A resistance fighter.
It's like maybe he was, and like Jake just fucked everything. Also screaming in the middle of the street that he knows about Yerks. He clearly doesn't care about his own safety.
Yeah, like, call me crazy, but I think Jake's kind of fucking dumb.
I mean, it only took you up 18 episodes to realize.
Guys, maybe this isn't the best show. I don't know if you've thought about this yet.
Blondes are just here to have fun.
This is the real question. Why, like, Jake wonders, why did they pick me? And it's like, I really don't know, dog. You're bad at this.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, it's hard being the leader, but everybody wanted me to be it.
Well, you are the tallest.
You're the tallest.
You are the tallest.
You can reach the disc off the highest shelf once we finally get it back from the Yerks and put it somewhere safe.
God damn that disc.
I hate the disc. I want it to die forever.
I hope it does. I really hope it does. But yeah, that was pretty much the end of that episode.
Yeah.
Woof.
This one was like, this was bad shit. And it had all the potential to be cool. And I know it even has potential to be a decent stepping stone, like, later on. Because I have this weird, like, scene in my head where later, like, everything seems, it's like, it's the end of Empire Strikes Back kind of thing. And then all of a sudden, fucking Perkins shows up with this, like, huge army of freed controllers. And they're just like, give me your fucking ears! And they rip the fucking Yerks out of their ears by force.
Yeah.
Like, maybe like a Fist of the North Star thing where they just get punched by just a ripped fucking Asian dude and just have it, like, ripped out.
Yeah.
I got really racial for no reason at the end there.
No. I'm making fun of a specific cat phrase, not the whole language. It doesn't count.
Okay.
It's not racist.
One of my best friends is racial. One of my best friends is an Asian man in an anime.
It's true.
Oh, Lord. Oh, you know me so well. You cut to the heart of me.
Okay.
That was a really bad goddamn episode. Holy shit.
Victor Trent continues to be the highlight of this series so far. Mostly just because, like, even though his shit is hammy, it's like it's the right amount of hammy. Because, like, Marco says a joke, and I'm just like, shut up. Whereas when Victor Trent, like, crushes a pop can, I'm just like, fucking what?
He's like, you're like, yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
I get it.
See, Victor Trent is jamon iberico ham from Spain, and the rest of the show is fucking deli meat.
That sounds like a joke that literally 4 people who also are butchers will understand.
No, butchers, or if you've seen the first episode of season 1 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Or if you enjoy cured meats, Mikhail, get off my
if
back.
you just know anything there is to know about food. Like, if you could really call yourself a chef.
Yeah, well...
You know...
Guys, if you know what jamon iberico ham is, fucking light up the group chat.
Comment on our post section on Collective Legacy that we had to shut down because we were getting too many boner pill robots.
Oh, man.
They're so aggressive now. It's like, you want sex? Come and get it.
They were really aggressive on my show, weren't they? Wasn't there one that you had to, like, disable
yeah.
immediately?
There was one, I forget what the actual episode was about.
I think it was the
but...
Captain America one.
Should we do predictions for next week's episode, which is called Face Off? It's episode 19. It's called Face Off Part 1. So,
oh, shit.
This is
a part 1?
Yeah, okay, here's a fun thing. The last 2 episodes of season 1 were called Face Off Part 1 and Part 2. The first episode of season 2 was called Face Off Part 3, which, when you take a second to think about it, it's like, what the fuck?
Wait, yeah, that's like, I'm hoping season 2, like the episode 2 ends really like satisfyingly, and then for some reason it's just like a surprise pickup for the beginning of season 2. That's not how it's going to happen. But
Yeah.
like, that would actually be really cool if a TV show did that, right?
And then the very last episode of every season, or like the last season, is just Face Off Part 4 for no reason.
Yeah, and then it just comes back one more time.
We're back,
one more
baby.
again.
That's just what every episode is named from here on in. Face Off, like, episode 2 of season 3 is Face Off Part 4, and then episode 3 is Face Off Part 5. Episode 5 is Face Off 6.
They pivot really hard into the hockey stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want to take his face off.
Ooh, good, dramatic. I think it's going to be, like, my prediction is, it's just going to be a 22 minutes times 3 recreation, shot for shot, of the movie Face Off, where Jake plays John Travolta and Axe plays Nicolas Cage.
And, to quote Molly from the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen on YouTube, I'm not mad at that.
That is a fucking deep cut. Like,
this is the Foodies episode.
Oh, Jesus.
We're opening you up to a whole new subsection of the internet, Mikhail, so you're welcome.
It's the best part. I feel like somebody gets their face off, like they fall face first in the yerk pool, and the yerks just eat them on the face like those fish you get at pedicures.
Okay,
Sweet.
that's a good visual, actually.
There's just like a new trick that the yerks can do. We've never brought it up before, but here we go.
That's horrifying.
We've
I love
trained
it.
yerks to eat.
Yerks with teeth, y'all.
Prediction. It's Face Off. The Yerks and the humans both submit a champion, kind of fucking Flash Gordon style, but it comes down to a pickup hockey game.
I'd be so happy.
It's one goalie,
1v1.
one goalie, and one forward to settle who gets to claim Earth.
It's a hockey game to decide the fate of the planet. Mighty Ducks 5.
It's in the States and they don't play hockey, so it'd be like a basketball game or a baseball game or something.
Wow, they actually have a multi-million-dollar franchises.
They play hockey.
But I mean, in the high school movies, it always comes down to a baseball game or a basketball game.
I mean, have
right?
you heard of the Criterion Collection Mighty Ducks?
The Mighty Ducks?
1, 2, and 3.
See, now that's a hockey movie. Basketball will just show up in a teen movie, and that's how you know the Americans like it better.
But also, this is a Canadian show.
Yeah, this is true, and that's why it would be hockey.
All right. This is clearly hockey.
Braden, any predictions?
Oh, I watched it already.
Wow, great.
Brayden, you're the newbie!
I had to get ahead. I had these conventions to do. I'm sorry.
Well, we both watched it because we have to do the recording right after this one.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you're like up with the immersion of the podcast.
I am an actor.
That's fine. No one gives a shit about these episodes. It's literally just like filler to get to the end of this fucking series finally.
Yes.
Jared.
No, it's filler so that everyone can listen to me. That's why.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
filler,
you miss
just
your
like that
voice.
Spanish fucking ham you were talking about that no one cares about.
That's not filler, that's what you wrap around the filler.
Jared, where can we find
Yes.
you on the internet? How about your personal Instagram for like pictures of fake deli meats from other countries?
All right, Mikhail, booking my ticket to Spain right fucking now. I'm gonna bring your ass back a pork leg.
It's all been a scheme just to get you to bring me back this like
And he's gonna
$100
beat
thing.
you with it.
$600 ham
Worth it.
that I will use to beat you
I'll
with.
lick the fat off my cheeks.
Feed the leg to the police when they search for the weapon. They'll never know.
Tessa, where can you find more
You
of
can
our
find
stuff?
more of our stuff on our podcast page at collectivelegs.org or on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, or Facebook.
Remember to subscribe.
Remember to subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts, or else Mikhail will fucking mock me.
Mikhail will mock me.
Oh, my best friend is an anime boy.
I cried gravel. Okay, you can show your support for our show at our Patreon page, patreon.com/DORKBAJIR.
We offer special bonuses for patrons. Access to our Discord server. And a bunch of things for my ass. And that was more.
Oh, that's so much worse than anything I've ever done on this podcast.
We like to give a shout out to our patrons at the Dork-Bajir level or higher by giving them an Animorph style title. Starting with
Big shout out to Nick Colin, the defenseman.
Shanna, the pop can.
Mariah Wamby, Le fromage de magnifique.
Greg De La Posta, comma. What did I say?
Oh my
You
godness.
said comma.
Colon, up in smoke.
Anne-Marie Ellis, forward.
Andrew Vila, colon the soup that you give when you're a good person.
Anyanka, Naruto.
Zachary Vaudo, Umberiko enthusiast.
Elemis, left wing.
Steam-driven, the shitty van that breaks for no reason.
Michael Armenta, anime.
Ace Chavez, Ace is high.
You want to add that comma in there again, or
No.
do you want to add a colon then, maybe?
As a matter of fact.
All right.
Nope, it's all one long
Stick
sentence.
it. Okay. Martha Urquhart, the right wing. And finally, a made-up patron so that I can have blah, 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 the goalie. And for people who've been following closely, I've been naming hockey team positions.
And that's when I started naming props, because I noticed what Mikhail was doing.
And decided to not play along.
Well, no, because you were doing hockey teams, so then I was doing props. I don't know
How are those
anything about
connected?
hockey.
How are those two things
It's because we
connected?
both have our own theme.
And I'm
Oh my
Braden,
God.
the anime.
For the Fanworks, my name is Mikhail, the host.
I'm Tessa, the expert.
And I'm Braden, #1 death in anime boy.
Ichiban.
And I'm Jared. Please save me from this mess.
And this has been Fanimorphs, the Dork-Bajir Chronicles.
Oh.
God, that's uncanny.
Okay.
Hi, hello, welcome to the ad for the show. I'm Mitch, the host of Whack Talk Radio. On this show, I talk to interesting people about interesting things. Do you need to know more than that? Okay, fine. Pretty much we'll talk about whatever my guest is interested in or passionate for. Sometimes it'll be silly, sometimes serious, sometimes a bit of both. Whatever the topic is, hopefully we'll find a way to make you that much more of an expert about it. You can find us at collectivelegacy.org, along with some other equally awesome shows on our network. New episodes of Whack Talk Radio are every Sunday and Thursday, wherever you find your podcasts. Let us know what you think on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Whack Talk Radio. That's WENGH Talk Radio.
Whack Talk Radio.
Brought to you by
Collective Legacy.
a podcast network.